Shout out to Jonathan. The guy's very talented. He grew my TikTok from 0 and now it's about 120K or something in 6 months.
I'm Jonathan, founder of Tencent, which is the marketing firm that helped Stephen Ronald Bell blow up on social media. Why am I showing this? Well, number one is obviously to show off what we're able to do. Number two is for you to actually learn and for us to be able to teach you some things that will help you go from having very little followers to getting a massive amount of exposure and to getting a lot of followers, which eventually the followers will lead to revenue. So whatever business you're in, you can market that business on social media. That's what we're experts at. Tencent.com, you can go check us out. Also, pay attention throughout this entire video because I'm going to be revealing a lot of stuff that you guys probably don't know. A lot of stuff behind the scenes about Stephen, about growing on social media, and hopefully a lot of things that you guys can note down and keep for the rest of your lives when it comes to marketing. As you guys know, marketing is a massive skill. It's super, super important, and it's becoming one of the most important skills right now as we are in the attention economy. Stephen, who is he? Stephen is an investor primarily and a businessman and a founder. He used to work in funding previously in the digital asset space. So he's cut his teeth primarily in that. He's known now for his investor prowess, his ability to spot early projects, his ability to predict narratives. The guy has an extensive record and a track record that's public that we were able to help with in terms of displaying it. I'll have a link down below. You can go check out his free channel. It's on Telegram and you can see some of the calls he's made and some of his opinions on narratives that are coming true essentially. So stuff that's very, very interesting. So I highly recommend clicking some of the links down in the description. And if you like this kind of stuff, guys, hit the subscribe button and give it a like as well. That helps tremendously. Also give your comments if you have any input, if you have any questions regarding this, let us know. So let's get into it. Stephen Ronald Bell, the Australian investor, came to us about maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. And essentially Stephen had no social media prior to us engaging him. No videos, nothing like that really. So when we met him, he was completely raw and he had been previously incarcerated. And one of the motivations for him to create a social media presence was that during his case, he was not able to speak up. He did not have a voice online. He was not able to actually say his side of the story, what happened and things like that, you know. And that can be very difficult when you have the whole law against you essentially and people coming at you and newspapers and media outlets, and they have all the attention, right? They have these infrastructures. But if you're trying to defend yourself, as every person should have the right to defend themselves, if you don't have that audience, if you don't have a way to speak up, you're at a massive disadvantage there. So that was one of his motivations, was for him to actually be able to speak his truth and to be able to, you know, give his side of the story. And he's done that tremendously well. Stephen has gotten over 200,000 followers across all the main social media platforms. And he launched a course as well, and teaching people about crypto investing, very, very high level course. And within a couple of days, he capped it essentially, but $150,000 in revenue within a couple of days. So that should go to show you how well he was perceived as an authority figure in investing. As I said, the challenges were that he had no social media engagement and he had no strategy. There was no kind of plan that he had. There was no sort of branding guidelines, anything like that created. And he wanted to also be extremely authentic, right? Stephen is just that kind of guy that he is who he is. You know what I mean? And he's very strong in his belief in who he is. Mixing him with other people and other brands, he was completely against. We weren't allowed to use any kind of footage from other brands who were perhaps in a similar niche. Pretty much almost no collaboration, things like that. And avoided muddling his image or mixing with other people and sort of the other traditional influencers he didn't really want to mix with. And he just wanted to have his own audience. And he said, I don't mind if it's smaller, I just want my own audience. I don't want my name built off of other people. Then when it came to planning and strategy, first, whenever you get a client, if you're a marketer, you sit down with your client and you get your digital asset audit done. So you look at pretty much everything that the person has that could be potentially used for content, right? Anything like pictures, news articles in Stephen's case, videos, you know, previous stories, anything that could potentially be used. And Stephen luckily had a few things from the past, some articles, some video content that we were able to leverage, pictures and videos and things like that of his lifestyle. Now, the way Stephen wanted to do it, when we came up with the branding guidelines, we essentially wanted to capture something that was quite difficult. And that was to capture his sort of luxury side, the professionalism, he likes to wear suits, things like that. And then mixing that with the rawness of his past. You know, he came from an extremely difficult background, came extremely disadvantaged. I think one of the smallest towns in Australia, as he said, essentially the ghetto, the mud, as people would refer to it, you know, the gutter. And then he built himself up through various means, you know, and eventually became this big, massive, well-known investor. So we wanted to sort of push it all together and display it to the public. And that was a difficult challenge, but we managed to do that, I think, quite well. In terms of the growth strategy and the development, we decided to focus obviously on content creation. Short form content is number one. It's the fastest way to grow on social media. Stephen didn't want any ads. He wanted it all be organic, essentially. What we ended up doing was promoting him across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and a few other social media platforms. Then he went into Twitter as well, saw success in absolutely all of them. So you can type in Stephen's name into any single social media platform and you'll see accounts with thousands of followers representing him. We then also, as we started seeing results, we decided to expand using affiliate expansion, essentially, similar to what the Cobra Tate brand did, similar to what the Luke Belmar did. When you get that many pieces of content made and distributed, it is impossible not to grow. And that is something that we were able to achieve with Stephen as well. And it was fantastic. And I'll show you some results later on, guys, of the different accounts that we were growing at the same time. And you can imagine we were doing, I believe, up to 1,000 pieces a month of content being distributed everywhere. So it was a very, very big workload, but also highly, highly effective. In terms of execution, after we started scaling and expanding into all the different social media platforms, we decided to start building out this course. Just thinking about it, Stephen was really against initially launching a course. He just didn't want to take money off his audience at all. It took months and months of people just DMing him constantly, because I was managing some of the accounts on my phone, and I would see the 20 messages a day, people asking, where's the course? Oh, I would love to invest, this, that, and the other. Eventually, after quite a long time of this, and I would ask him as well, it'd be good for you to share your investing knowledge with other people and things like that. And eventually he did decide to launch a course. And so we built him this website called srbcrypto.com. You can have a look at it there. In terms of his course, he has limited the amount of people that can come in there. And I'm pretty sure, depending on when this video comes out, currently you might not be able to join, but you can look at his free channel and you can see him being active in there and showing the stuff that he's been doing. Any sort of personality or brand that is not completely in alliance and in alignment with the mainstream narrative, you have a massive chance of being banned. And this is because obviously censorship is very much enforced. Everybody understands that in the social media landscape. These big companies, whether you like it or not, whoever's trying to speak against the main narrative, whatever the government is trying to push at that time, you can be in a lot of trouble. At least 5 or 6 accounts get banned, suspended, all these different things, purely for him speaking about what he believed in, which is quite wild if you think about it. So what we ended up doing was creating a Telegram, which is better than a newsletter, but it's essentially centralizing people who are highly, highly interested and highly engaged in your content and put them all on Telegram, which is a place where bans don't really happen. Instagram, multiple accounts banned on there, TikTok even worse. But Telegram is still sort of the place where people can create accounts. There's a low probability of them being banned, extremely low. So keep that in mind for any of you who do content outside the mainstream narrative. In terms of diversified platform growth, so as I said, you cannot be focused on purely one social media platform, especially with content like Stephen's. You have to have it spread out, and you also want to be spreading it out all at once, because you never know which one's going to pop off. These algorithms, for us, it was initially TikTok, then TikTok got shadow banned, then the Instagram started taking off, then the YouTube, and it was just all kind of at different stages. But if we had just focused on one platform, let's say we picked YouTube, which was the last to pop off, that would have taken forever to see results. But if you focus on multiple platforms, your chances of popping off are much higher. So cross promotion and diversified platform growth, that is very, very important. We got his Telegram to 5,000 members in less than 3 months. It's very quick. What we ended up doing was funneling people from all the different social media platforms and getting them all into the Telegram. Then in terms of his digital presence, as I said, over 200,000 followers. That's a very conservative number. So it's well over 200,000 followers that he was able to accumulate. As I said, the Telegram group was 5,000 members and then 150,000 in sales within the first week of his course. And that was not with a massive promotional push. There was no paid advertising, nothing like that. It's purely, he said, I'm opening this thing. You can send money to this wallet address and then you can join, message me once you've sent the money, things like that. It was just the most simplest funnel possible. That just speaks volumes to actually how much of an authority figure he is in the space. So these are some of the accounts here. SRB Mentality, one of the TikToks, here's another one, 120,000 on TikTok alone. Here's just some of the accounts growing on Instagram, as you can see, all in the green, all growing, all posting different types of content, all posting individual pieces. Nothing was really repeated or rinsed or anything like that. So everything original and being posted across all these. So you can imagine it was a very, very big operation, and it was just a big, massive blitzkrieg, and it worked tremendously well. So these are some of the videos. 7 million here, 1.5 million, 1.4, 1 million, whatever. These are, just some of the screenshots. Here's another video, 11 million, things like that. Now, one of the best things that I think we were able to accomplish, as I said, was getting him to be an authority figure and actually delivering a lot of value to the world. A lot of influencers, it's all about take. But with Stephen, it was about giving, and he gave for the longest time. And, just by looking at some of the things that these people, when they joined the group, what they were posting. And if I could, I would show you the DMs, essentially, of people just saying, thank you so much, Stephen, for changing my life. You really helped me with this, that, and the other. He was giving dating advice that was helping men tremendously. He was helping men steer away from a lot of the negative and the toxic sort of advice that was being given online at the time. And he was sort of like the one that was putting things in order and putting things into actual perspective and being objective. And that helped a lot of people, and they were all coming in the DM, so that was fantastic. He also got, here's another, Sartorial Trude is a big, maybe not a celebrity, maybe an influencer. He was asking him to come on a podcast, and lots of people asked Stephen to come on podcasts and things like that, and that was fantastic as well. And he also got to do some public speaking events as well. So this is it, guys. This is the power of social media. We've created him essentially a business that can do 7 figures a year very easily, and it was completely up to him whether he wanted to push that further. Now, Stephen, as you guys know, he's an investor. He makes pretty much all his money from that. He says it publicly, he makes a lot of money from his other businesses and things like that, so he doesn't particularly need to do content. But when he wants to, and when he wants to actually help guys, he just jumps on and makes a video and things like that, and it gets distributed. So that is the beauty of the machine that we were able to set up. And if you're looking to grow on social media, as I said, guys, all you have to do is go to Tencent.com. If you are serious about growing, then you should book a call for sure. If you're a crypto enterprise, if you're a finance, tech, anything like that, we help companies scale and grow through social media and getting a lot more attention. This is just one of the people that we've helped establish as an authority figure in the digital asset space in particular. So cheers, guys. Again, if you like this, subscribe, give it a like, let us know what you think as well.